Well, he walked out at the RNC to a different song twice, Lee Greenwood's God Bless the USA. And Donald Trump, many have pointed out, he looked different at the RNC. He looked like he was misty eyed at some points. His smile, people have described him as more human. What do you think of him at the RNC and the RNC as a whole, especially when this event, less than 48 hours from the kickoff of the RNC, was the backdrop?
I thought that the RNC was a tremendous success for what they were trying to do. And it was very focused and on point. And the least focused and least on point was Donald Trump's, the sort of second half of his speech. I completely agree with you, by the way. The first part of that speech, when he was recounting, for what he says is the first and last time, what that experience of being shot was like, he looked reflective, serious. The motto of Aristotle is know thyself. That's what it looked like. I didn't think that the second half of the speech did him any good because it ran on too long. If he'd cut 2/3 of it, he would have been much better off. But my favorite moment, I didn't watch all the convention. As they say, I have a life to lead. But I thought my favorite moment at the convention was the priest who did the imitation of Donald Trump before he did the benediction. And you could just see the smile on Trump's face. And I thought, having his granddaughter, well, there were two granddaughter moments. One was a great speech by the granddaughter. I thought the granddaughter's speech was better than her father's or her uncle's. But seeing Donald Trump with the young granddaughter on his lap was a very humanizing moment. It's, in a way, it's kind of sad that we think about electing leaders because of these more personalistic elements, but we do. And I think that helps Trump now and hurts Biden now.
I think that's a really interesting point because there were a few speeches like Laura Trump's, like the granddaughter Kai Trump, of, hey, despite his mean tweets, despite maybe some tweets you don't like, some rhetoric you don't like, he's my grandpa. He's like any other grandpa. He sneaks me candy and soda. He's a great father-in-law. He's great with my kids. So what do you think the strategy of, like you said, humanizing Donald Trump was?
Well, I think that the main point of the convention was to draw sharp policy contrasts with the current administration, and to say, as Reagan did, in effect, about Jimmy Carter, are you better off now than you were 4 years ago? Are you safer? Are you more prosperous? And so forth. And it's clearly now Trump's party. And what strikes me is both the transformation of the party into a kind of working class populist nationalist party under Trump. That's, by the way, the reason I think that he picked J.D. Vance, because he is the emblem of that transformation, and he will ensure that it continues into 2028 and beyond. But I also think that the Democrats are still running against the party of George H.W. Bush. Every time they talk about tax cuts and so forth, it's all for the rich. They think they're running against country club Republicans. But Republicans don't think that. And I don't think that independents in the country think that. But a final point, I don't think that this race will be fundamentally a positive race. I think it will be a plebiscite in which people vote negatively, either about Biden or whoever replaces him, because Biden's policies are not idiosyncratic. They are mainline Democratic policies. And because of that, I don't see Kamala definitely can't run away from him. She's the vice president. It's the Hubert Humphrey problem in 1968. How can you run away from Lyndon Johnson, right? And all the other Democrats supported it, and they were part of a cover-up. They all knew that Joe Biden was declining cognitively and physically, and they and the mainstream media covered it all up. So it's very damaging to them.